It has been an absolute hell of a week the past sort of 7 to 10 days. It's actually starting to take shape. We've started on the kitchen and we've started on the living space. So first up is the kitchen. Got this from Worktop Express and it is 635 by 3 meters. We've got a 3 meter length. Now you can get them like custom cut down and stuff like that, but there's a really long lead time and their online sort of tool isn't great. So we just bought the length and we're going to cut it down ourselves. Now to be able to do this, we've done a few things. I've stuck down some tape so that when I'm cutting it doesn't tear through. I've also created a fence because we can't pass it through the table saw because it's too long and we wouldn't be able to get a straight line. I've done the underside of the fence and I've done the underside of this. The final thing we did was to measure the distance between the blade and the fence to make sure that we're cutting along the line. Final thing for belt and braces is to make sure that this is actually square, the fence is square, which it is, so we're good to go, we're good to cut at this point.
We've cut it down to the length that we want, so now what we've got to do is try and take some of the width off. Now that it is a smaller piece of wood, we are going to pass it through the table saw. It will give us a straighter edge. So that's the plan.
We want an overhang, but we don't want that much of an overhang. So it's the right width that way. Or the right length that way. We just want to take it down a bit.
It feels really strange. It feels so high up, but we measured it and it's like 3 centimeters less than what our kitchen is, which is nice for me because I am 5'2". It just feels so big in the van.
This has been cut down to its final dimensions now and looks pretty good. So now that this part's in, we are sizing up the second part, which is where the sink is going to go, and just making sure it all fits. And once we've got that cut down, we'll square it all together to make sure this part is square with this part, and then get it fixed in.
So we were trying to work out how to attach our L-shaped kitchen together, and what I've been looking at online and also from Worktop Express is what they suggested is something called a butt joint, which basically, we've had a go here, is you get these bolts, like one sits in here and then you create another shape on the other side of the worktop. A butt joint, the bolts usually have 2 of these on each end and you tighten them. We decided to get, I think these are called like zip bolts, and what it means is rather than having to tighten both ends of the bolt is that you put both of it in and then you just put a Torx bit into this end and then you can tighten that way, which just means that you don't have to try and tighten both and keep them flat. Now to be able to cut this shape you actually need a router jig, which was like 160 quid, and we're not going to do that. So we're going to give it a go. This might absolutely fail, but we're going to try and create our own hole. So far we have cut one using a router. We've got a trim router, so we gave it a go with a trim router. And to be able to do the circle, we used an auger bit, and now it sits in here. So we have to get the other side absolutely perfect, and then it will pull the 2 pieces of worktops together, which hopefully will mean that they end up really flush.
But it worked fairly well. Set the fence on the router and then worked quite well.
We think it's actually turned out okay. We did do them like the holes a little bit too close together, so we put like a little, it's just for the bottom bit of the screw to go into. We have tried 2 of them already and it pulled it together really nicely. So we're going to do like a dry fit with all three now. So we're really glad that we decided to give it a go. We had on this join here, we couldn't get one side to sit flush with the other side. It was kind of on a little bit of an angle. And so what it's meant doing those joints is that it's pulled the whole surface together so it's completely flush. So kind of regardless of heights of the cabinets or the fact that everything's a little bit off centre, it's just pulled it in and it's worked really well.
So this is where it's going to get really complicated. What we want to do is have an under-mounted sink. Not just the under-mounted sink, we want to be able to use the cutout as the chopping board so that it's going to sit in its place, and we're going to have that continuation of the grain and stuff like that. So what we've done is we've measured out where we want the sink to sit on the counter itself. We've drawn around the edge of the sink, accounting for where we need to have the tap hole and stuff like that. And then we have split the rim of the sink in half so that the chopping board or the insert is going to have something to sit on, and that's what we're going to cut out. This hole here, we've punched a hole here because it's like a finger pickup hole. It's also a good place to sort of start the jigsaw. I've gone and bought a fresh new Bosch clean cut blade. I'd love to be able to kind of router this and make a curved corner, but I just think that's adding a little bit too much complication. So we're just going to go with square corners for now.
Yeah, because it's already quite difficult. Already using the jigsaw to try and do it is difficult. So
yeah,
we'll give it a go. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, give it a go. Hopefully it looks smart.
If not, we'll have a over-mounted sink.
Yeah, that's the good thing, is that if this goes horribly wrong, and we can't have a chopping board that insets, and we can't have it under-mounted for whatever reason, something goes wrong, we can always just bring the sink over the edge and there will be an edge for it to sit on. There is a backup if this all goes wrong. Sorry about the dog's barking, but this is very much moment of truth. I've done the last final cut through here. I do need to sort of clean up this area here, but this is the last cut. So, should be able to take these clamps, bump off. Take this out of the way, and then if I lift this up from the bottom, that centre section should just stay where it is. Ooh. And there we go. And this is our chopping board. This is as clean as we could get it, and this just slots back in. Now we've got one on each corner. Number one, because it helped us actually cut it in the first place, but number two, because this is actually quite heavy. This, for a chopping board, this is really heavy. So we didn't want to be like constantly grabbing it like that and like scratching up this corner. So to be able to grab it with both hands, one finger there, is actually going to be a lot easier to pick it up and move it around anyway. That's the logic behind that.
We've read a lot of conflicting stuff about under-mounting on wood. We've had a look at quite a different number of ways to do this, and it does seem alright. We just need to make sure that obviously it is oiled as much as it can be. I do need to put another coat of oil on it, but it should be oiled every 6 months. So we're going to use some of the Stick Slide Clear adhesive or weather on the underside of the sink. We had already drawn around it when we cut out the original hole, so we do have a draw line around it. So we're going to put the glue onto the oak, and then we're going to place the sink on top. We do have a frame to also hold it up against here, because obviously with the van moving and stuff, it just gives it that extra support. So we will give it a go. Installed the worktop now actually into the van. The last thing we showed you was cutting this worktop. So this is how it works. So we, as Max said, you've got two lift holes here, and then it shows the sink underneath, which is not plumbed up or anything yet. There is a big hole, and then it just goes back on like that. I'm not sure how much we'll actually use this as a chopping board, but what it has done is allowed us to have a lot bigger workspace. Actually feels like a really good sized kitchen. Like, I just feel I've got loads of places to cook. We also have the cupboard that's under the sink. So we have put extra support in for the sink, so it is glued at the top on the rim, but we were obviously quite concerned about the fact that, you know, we'll be moving a lot in the van. We'll never have like weight in it while we're travelling, but just to give that extra security, we've put almost like a frame in. So we've got 2 uprights here, and then we've got 2 pieces of wood across here and across the bottom as well, to keep that really solid rigid frame, and then this is drilled into the bottom of the cabinet, and it's just made it really sturdy. We have potentially lost some storage space by doing this, but it has given us that worktop space over the top by having it under mounted. We've also installed the hob, so we are going fully electric with our cooking, so we have an induction hob. We've also got all of our cupboards in place now. There's still some finishing off we need to do, so we've still got kick plates that we need to do, and we still need to do the fascia. This very lovely wine rack that Max made me. Got the fridge installed, which is nearly hooked up, and then we've got the cupboard. So we've got one large cupboard here, so this opens this way. We obviously wanted to utilise as much of that space as possible. This is our air fryer, so this will be like our oven. What Max has done is he's actually put it on a pull-out shelf, to make it a lot easier to get it in and out. So we're looking at how to keep our cabinets closed while we're travelling, and one of the things that we looked at is like child locks, and so we've ended up going with a magnetic locks, which so far I've been so impressed with. We have got some push locks in the overhead storage, and to be honest I was so impressed with these that I have taken off those and implemented these into the overhead cupboards as well. But they are so easy. You've got 2 options. You can either have this fixed, which means that probably if we're parked up for a couple of days we'll just leave it like that. It means that we can get into the cabinets really easily. Or you literally just push this bit forward, close the door, it is solidly closed, and then you use these, which are the magnets. You just press it in like that and open it, and they're fantastic. We really like them. We had some push latches on these, but because they are so good, we've also attached them on here. For the decoration on the kitchen, we ended up going with some just plastic tiles, so they're really lightweight because it is literally plastic. There's texture to it, look like there's some like 3D element to it. We got halfway through doing this and we had a little bit of concern that it would just look, it's a very large space of all the same tiling, and Max had picked up this paint for something else that he's painted in the van, and we actually quite liked it, and so we decided to paint the top half a dark grey and then almost have like a fade effect. And all I did for this was use a really sharp Stanley knife to cut around these and then stick them on. Because this is dark, it's almost like brought some of the light through, because there's quite a contrast there, and yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Well, that is pretty much the end of building out this kitchen. We've got a few more little finishing touches to do, like drawer fronts and kick plates, but generally speaking it's done now. Although we do already have the hob cut in, all the electrics are going to be coming in another video because it's just massive. Our setup is quite complex. We went quite hard with the electrics. It's going to be quite a big video, so stay tuned for that. But thank you all for, you know, taking the time to reach out on YouTube or on Instagram and stuff like that and ask questions or give support or just give a bit of encouragement in what it is we're doing, and letting us know that the time we spent on some of these things that may be a bit bespoke to our van weren't a waste of time, that they do look good, which is, you know, makes us feel good because we've actually spent a lot of time doing it. There's a great community of you out there, and yeah, feel free to comment some more or ask any other questions you have. Thanks all for joining, but for now, see you in the next one. Bye.
You just put a screw head?
Torx bit.
A Torx something.
Torx, T-O-R-X, Torx.
Oh, a Torx bit.